Hi everyone, in this video I want to outline how to create a useful template for all of your drawings from this point on in the class. In order to do this, you're going to want to set up both your model space and your layout space or paper space so that they're set up and ready to go for the drawings you make. We're going to be making two types of drawings in inches and drawings in millimeters, or the US versus the metric system. And so we're actually going to create two separate templates, one for inches and one for millimeters. The first thing you're going to want to do in both of these is to go ahead and start by setting up your layers. And to do that, you come up to the Layers tool here, and AutoCAD only has one layer set up when you start it. And to add layers, you just click on this little button here for a new layer, and you can type its name. So I'll type visible for my visible lines. If you hit enter and hit enter again, it will add another layer, and you can say maybe dimensions for your next one. I'll pause the video here and make the rest of the layers so you can see what they look like. Okay, now that I have my layers named, it's time for me to change their color, and this is just helpful for you to keep track of what is on what layer. I'm going to go ahead and make my visible lines red. I'll make my dimension lines cyan. I can make my hidden lines blue, my center lines green, and I'll make my section lines yellow. These are arbitrary colors. You can choose whatever you want. You also need to change the line type. Visible lines can be continuous, as are dimensions, but hidden lines have a different line type. You can see there's only two options by default. If you click on load, you get a list of a bunch of different line types. And so for hidden, they actually have one named hidden in here that I'm going to find. There it is. I'll choose hidden and say OK. And now I select that and say OK to make it the line type. I can also do the same thing for center line. I'll load a center line type. Okay, and remember I am working on an inch setup here, and so I'm going to go ahead and say center. And why do I mention that? It's because we'll actually do this differently for the metric. We'll select some different line types. Once this is all set, I can go ahead and close my layer dialog box, and I'm going to go to File, Save As. And I'm going to change the type of file this is to a DWT right here, drawing template, and that automatically takes me to my templates folder, and I'm going to call this my Andy Inch template. Okay, and I'll go ahead and save that, and I do want to replace my existing one with this new one. I can put in a description and put what types the units of measurements are, and just say OK and accept the defaults. Alright, quick video on how to set up layers. In our next video, I'll talk about how to set up a complete drawing template with both model space and paper space.